Hi everybody, Matt Iulo here with Scalp Micro USA, and sitting next to me is Eva. She's a fantastic permanent makeup artist out of London. And today I'm just doing a tutorial on the different types of hairlines that we can create with scalp micropigmentation. And so I want to show Eva and all of you three common examples of hairlines that we are able to create with the scalp micropigmentation treatment. So I'll show the first one, which is a standard kind of straight type of hairline where we can create, which a lot of younger men like to use. If you're in your young 20s, early 30s, this could be a hairline that could suit you. So we'll start with this hairline and I'll show you the other two after. Okay, so I just got done drawing an example of what would be considered a straighter type of hairline or a more clean-cut style that a lot of clients are after. So take a look first at what we drew here. You can see the profiles as well. And some characteristics of this type of hairline. First, we found our starting point, which should be anywhere from 3.5 to 4 fingers above the bridge of the nose. There's certain ways you can find this spot. Use the length of the nose and use that distance from the bridge to the top of the forehead. Also, just similar examples like raising your eyebrows, seeing where your frown lines, end, so that you're able to use that as a starting point. And the main characteristic of a straight hairline is the center point and the top profile point, the temple point, are basically in line. This one is not higher than the center point, the temple point is not lower. It's basically more or less in line with that center focal point, okay? So a straight hairline is simply just going to come across in an even way until your temple point. And then from your temple point, you could draw a nice profile where the angle should be definitely not a 90-degree angle. I would say a bit shorter, usually somewhere between like a 75 to a 70-degree angle. Stop a little bit above the end of the tail of the eyebrow, and then you can use this bottom profile line, should be in the same general direction as the slope of the eyebrow. I leave my lines open a little bit so that there's a little bit room for breakage so that the hairline is not too sharp. And this is a very stylish type of hairline. It's youthful, but still can be done very naturally. So as long as you understand that this point and this point are even, you can offer varying degrees of this type of hairline to your clients. Okay, so the next hairline I want to show is what I call the natural or slightly receded type of hairline, which is personally one of my favorites because it is so versatile. It also gives a little bit of a natural appearance, can show a little bit of maturity, while still delivering that youth that we all want out of a hairline. So here we have what I call the natural or slightly mature hairline. And as you see, it's a bit different already from the straight one we showed you. Main difference here is that from the center point to the temple point, the hairline is not coming straight across. What it does, actually, what Eva said, it does almost like an S, which is kind of true. What we're doing is from the center point, taking the line a bit back, so it's starting to, I wouldn't say recede, but starting to slope backwards. And then it's coming back, it's arching back to meet the temple point on the side. So actually the temple point and the center point are still in line, but what happens in between is what's different from the straight line. What it's doing is slightly curving up and then sloping back down to meet that center point to make a very nice, natural kind of flow to the hairline. It's a very curvy type hairline, as you can see even from the temple points. We did these in a little bit more of a round way, and even the side profile has a little bit of curve. So not too straight, this gives it a little bit more of a curvy look and a little bit more of how hairlines can naturally start to mature over time. The other important feature I wanted to share is that when you're matching your temple points, you want to make sure that they are in line. So a good way to do that is to view it from the top to make sure that this point and that point, if you were to draw a straight line across, which I can do real quick, if the pencil wanted to work for me, you draw a straight line across and they should pretty much line up. remember, everything doesn't need to be 100% exact, but it should be very close so that it's symmetric. And so that these two temple points now match up, the hairline has a nice natural curve to it. The last thing I would say about this hairline is that it can have varying degrees of recession. So you could even bring this recession up a little higher and slope down. Or if your client says, hey, I want to go to do it a little bit straighter, you're able to do that and just slightly bring that curve down a little bit more. Okay, so it's very versatile hairline, and you can adapt it to your client's wishes. All right, so the last hairline we're going to draw is pretty straightforward. It's called a round hairline. A lot of clients with maybe rounder type head shapes or larger heads fit this type of hairline. It's a pretty standard type of hairline, and it's something that is easy for us to draw, and it's still a very good look and frames the face very well. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that and explain the features of a round hairline. All right, last but not least, we have the round hairline, which I just finished, and take a look at it. Okay, so the main characteristic with the round hairline is that this center point is going to be lower than the temple point. So the last two hairlines I showed you, we had the center point and the temple point the same. It was just what happened in between that changed. With the round hairline, it's going to start at the center point and it's going to round up to slightly higher at the temple point, and then you can make your profile lines here, and a nice rounded profile. Okay, this is an outward curve, whereas the hairline I showed you earlier was more of an inverse curve where it kind of arched up and back down. This one is round and slopes up so that the temple point, like I said, is higher than your center point. Okay, and like last time, you want to make sure your two temple points are in line with each other. And with this, again, you could have varying degrees of the roundness. It can come up a little higher, it can come down slightly more, depending on exactly what your client wants. I hope this was informative to you guys, and as always, if there's any questions, you could reach out to me, Matt at scalpmicrousa.com, or you could even leave a comment in the YouTube channel below. Thank you.